Hello, Professor Howlett. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for your time.
This is the 25th ECR in Vienna. When was your first ECR?
My first ECR was actually last year, 2018,
Right.
which was when I was invited to attend the ESR Audit and Standards subcommittee for the first time. And it's, as we were discussing, it's dramatically different in terms of the weather at the moment.
Right.
Minus 15 last year, and now we've got the most amazing weather outside.
Incredible.
And it's, I just arrived yesterday, so it's my first day at the Congress today, and it's been fantastic so far. Very, very busy and well organised, but has got a very good feel about it this year.
What was your impression last year, your first visit?
I was impressed with the size. The Vienna, of course, is an amazing city, absolutely beautiful. It was different last year because there was snow, an awful lot of snow. A lot of people hadn't been able to get here as well with the weather. But I think Austria and Vienna seemed to deal with the weather a lot better than the UK.
Absolutely.
That's for sure. The trains were running, for instance, and people were, the whole place hadn't shut down. But no, I very much enjoyed ECR last year. It was very professionally run and tremendously well organised. But this year, if anything, I think it's even better.
Right. So as you mentioned, you are involved with the Audit and Standards subcommittee.
That's right.
So you're in fact the chair of the subcommittee.
I came in last year to my first committee, where I was also asked to take over as chair last year. But this is my first actual Congress where I've been chairing the subcommittee.
So can you tell us a little bit about the benefits of effective clinical audit?
Well, clinical audit it's a well-recognised tool that's very able to improve patient care, experience and outcomes. And essentially, just briefly, it involves, for radiologists, radiographers, you take an aspect of your practice and then you compare it to established standards or targets, and you see how you're doing. Are we meeting the standard? Sometimes you'll find that you don't, and in that case you need to make changes, look at the pathway, other things we can do better, and then institute those changes. And then after a period, you do something called closing the audit loop, and you re-audit and have a look and see if your changes have improved things.
Okay. So what is the purpose of the Esperanto clinical audit booklet?
Esperanto is a publication of the ESR. It was the first iteration was published in 2017, and it's a document that's in two parts. It has, the first part is a guide to clinical audit, so it kind of explains what is audit, what are the benefits, why should you do it, how can it help you as a clinician or radiographer, radiologist. And then the second part is there's something called an audit tool, and that contains a number of templates, and these templates are suggested audits. So they give interested people, you can have a look at it, you can get some ideas from it, and you can actually then develop these templates, you can adapt them, you can edit them, and do your own audits. So it's I think ESR very much sees clinical audit as a key priority and really wants to support radiology departments in developing this.
Right. So why Esperanto? Where did that name come from?
My understanding is that was a language. It was this, I think it's relatively long-standing language that was designed to transcend national boundaries. It would be a language that everyone would speak. And I think that was why the original name was chosen. It was wanted, Esperanto, the audit document, it was felt by the committee that they wanted this to, as I say, transcend national boundaries and really to be used throughout the whole of Europe. Okay. But I would say that it is in English.
Right. Good to know. So there's a new version of the booklet.
There is.
What does that add to the old one?
Yeah, well, we've given it quite a sort of facelift. The original document was a very effective and a very good document, but I think what's happened that's kind of changed things a little bit is that in 2018, the European Commission publication, the BSSD, the Basic Safety Standards Directive, became law in all EU member states. And within that, it mandates that clinical audit has to be undertaken within departments. It doesn't say how that needs to happen, but it does need to happen. And the Esperanto is designed partly to accommodate that change. It's now legally required. Radiology departments have got to do it, and they've got to be seen to do it because there's the potential for inspection. by national bodies. So the new Esperanto has got an enhanced section around audit, particularly around the legal requirements, but also we've expanded the templates. So there's many more radiation protection templates, but also we've introduced some clinical service templates as well. So there's around 30 templates in total.
Okay. And how is the ESR going to make this available to radiology departments?
That's a good question, and it's a complicated question. We are aware that Esperanto hasn't percolated out as far as we would like, but we had an audit committee meeting today, and we have talked about that in detail, and it's really, really important that this document gets out there. So it's being highly profiled at ECR 2019, where it's been launched. We're going to send it again to all national societies within Europe, and we're going to try and actively work with them to make sure it gets out to their member departments, but we're also going to try and take it out to ESR members as well directly, so we can try and get into the ground level.
Right. Are there any clinical audit related sessions at the Congress?
We have a number this year. We had one this morning. It was a coffee and talk session this morning. It's the first time I think we've tried that with audit, and that was well attended. It was really interesting, a lot of interesting questions. And I would say that the turnout was a lot better than last year at the audit session, and I think that suggests to me that there is an increased understanding amongst radiologists, radiographers throughout Europe that audit's actually getting a lot more important. We've got another audit session later on today at 4 o'clock, and then we're doing a combined audit session on Friday. So we've got 3 dedicated audit sessions, which is really good.
Great. Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the Congress.
Thank you.
And the weather.
Thank you.